Hello there, and welcome to another new car video. As I said in the last video, new month, a new car. I'm probably going to look a little bit washed out color-wise. I'm not sure why, camera on my phone. But as those of you who follow Beards in Cars will already know, this, as you'll have seen from the thumbnail, is the vehicle that I gave my Car of the Year award to last year. For those who didn't watch my Car of the Year video, spoiler alert in this video, of course. Now, the two questions you're going to have are, for those who don't know, what is the car? And for those who already watched the last video where I bought a Bentley, how is this affecting that situation? Does that bode badly for the Bentley? Is this a second car? Well, let's get that one out of the way first. This is my new car. I got rid of the Bentley. The reason why I got rid of the Bentley is because, surprise to precisely no one, including myself, I believe I said it was a risk when I bought the car, it developed a number of random electrical issues. Central locking wasn't working properly, hazard lights were stuck on, indicators didn't work. It had a workshop, take it to the workshop warning fault on the dash. The tire pressure monitor was in and out in terms of working. So it was nothing that prevented the car from actually driving. In fact, mechanically, it was perfect. Nothing wrong with the engine, gearbox, brakes, suspension, all fine. And I actually drove the Bentley a couple of 100 miles to swap to this car. The reason why I got rid of it is because it seems to be a water ingress issue, at least according to existing owners. So I would, trust their judgment on that. Initially, we thought it was just needing a new battery, because with Volkswagen tech, 9 times out of 10, a new battery will solve your issues. It did with my Touareg. In the case of the Bentley, I bought a new battery, got it for a very good price, a Bosch battery. Didn't fix the issue. And then it seems to be water ingress. So the way they designed the scuttle for the rain to pass, down the windscreen and out the bottom of the car behind the engine, can easily get filled up with debris. Then that overflows behind the glove box, down underneath the carpets, and starts to cause havoc in the electrics. The only way to fully diagnose if it is that specific place, because it can gather under the bonnet, it can gather in the boot, there are fuse boxes all over the place in the Bentley, wires all over the place. I mean, it's a 3-ton car. The only way to diagnose that is to take the carpets out. And I did not want to start tearing the car to pieces, trying to find out where the problem was, to then think, well, do I really want to put the money into potentially replacing all this wiring or terminals? So I thought, you know what? It's in great mechanical condition. It was almost a one-owner car from new. It had 15 yearly services from new. So if someone could fix that, they'd have a great car. I lost money on it, of course, but it's the second time I've had that happen. First time was with my original Maserati, the lighter blue one. The reason why I got rid of it instead of trying to fix it is because, and I don't expect most people to understand this or necessarily agree with it, most people would say, well, surely it's better to potentially spend a bit of money and fix it and keep the car rather than losing money and just jumping to a new one. It's a valid point, but the problem is, at least for me with the way I am with cars, because I love cars so much and because the cars that I buy are high performance cars that, they require a lot of the engine, etc. all the time. They're not normal cars. To me, I have to be able to trust the car I'm in. And it's almost like a relationship where if you imagine in a relationship, one partner cheats on the other one, could they trust that person again? Could they forgive that person and move on? Well, potentially, but either way, the relationship would never be the same. You might convince yourself that it is, but it's not. By definition, it can't ever be quite the same again. For me, it's like that with a car. Could I get the Bentley fixed? Sure. And it's not about the money, it's not about the awkwardness. I'd just never be able to trust the car fully again. In the back of my mind, I'd have that nagging feeling, yeah, but what if it does that again? And what if it's something more serious? So as I said, before I even bought the car, I knew it was a risk. It turned out to be a risk. In the grand scheme of things, not the craziest thing to go wrong, really, as far as a Bentley. The engine was still fine. But yeah, I decided to cut my losses, move on. It was virtually a straight swap for this one. This is done 10,000 miles less than the Bentley. It's in gorgeous condition. It's the exact spec I wanted, and is, of course, for those who haven't already recognized the car from its interior or already knew my Car of the Year pick for last year, a Golf. A Volkswagen Golf Mk5 R32. I chose the 5-door in particular because I like the look of the 5-door. It has the extra, of course, accessibility for getting in and out. It's just easier. It's more practical. For those wondering, why on earth would you go from having a 200-mile-an-hour Bentley to the smallest and least powerful car you've ever owned? Well, simply put, because I don't buy cars strictly because I'm trying to get faster and faster. Of course, it's cool to have a fast car, but technically I already took a back step when I went from the Jag XKR to the Quattroporte. The Quattroporte is less powerful and heavier. So to me, it's not about that. It's about, I buy cars that I like. And that's why I have no shame at all going from a Bentley to a Golf. I love both almost equally, in fact, but in different ways. And I'm certainly not going to lie and say that this car is not a hell of a lot cheaper to run. And plus, the one that I chose is a Japanese import. It was imported back into the UK last year, and it's in gorgeous condition. I'm sure you could find something wrong with it if you wanted to. I'm sure, there's probably codes in its history, but overall, Japanese petrol heads take fantastic care of their cars. And the first thing that really keyed me into that is when I reviewed the Mercedes E55 AMG from Philip Raby. You could put that thing in a museum, and it was from 1999. It was just in gorgeous condition. Japanese people, Japanese petrol heads, take fantastic care of their cars, and their MOT, or the equivalent of it, is more strict than what we have. So it's been loved, is the main thing. Mileage is lower than the Bentley. The tax is £300 cheaper per year than what a UK version of the exact same model would be, so that saves a huge amount of money. The insurance is far cheaper than the Bentley. Of course, it doesn't ultimately matter. I still love the Bentley, but it's still nice to have the advantage. Of course, the fuel economy is better. Technically, I think this is probably the most economical car I've had. I mean, the Touareg V10 diesel was very good for what it was, but this should have a slight edge, like 35 to the gallon-ish on the motorway, and about maybe, I don't know, 24, 26 if you average it around town. The Touareg used to average about 25, 26 as well, so there wasn't a huge difference between the two. But overall, the fuel economy is definitely cheaper. Definitely cheaper than a Bentley, if nothing else. Tax is cheaper, insurance is cheaper, and I could probably buy the whole engine in this thing for the price of a Bentley service. So it's not exactly like it's even comparable on price. Technically, this is the smallest engine and the least power of any car that I've had, but I don't mind. It's like the Fiat Panda. The Panda 100 HP that I reviewed recently. That was literally in my top 10 bucket list cars to review on the channel, period. And that includes all cars, because it's just a car that I always wanted to drive. I absolutely loved it, and it lived up to my expectations. The difference with the Golf is I thought I would like it, but I didn't know I would like it and love it as much as I did last year. That one was a 350 horsepower supercharged model with essentially a straight pipe. This one is stock in comparison. So for those wondering, yes, I am going to be doing stuff to it. Probably only one thing, to be honest, because as I said, the spec is already great. It's in silver. Originally I wanted blue. I've had more blue cars than anything else, but I chose silver actually because owning the Bentley, I actually realised, because I've never been a fan of silver cars, but it always looks clean, and it's just a nice advantage to have. Plus the Golf looks great in silver anyway. It's kind of like my not an in-joke, but my little subtle nod to how much I love the Beetle RSI. That's genuinely one of my favourite Volkswagens, and super, super rare. The 5-door, like I said, is what I wanted. It has these also pretty rare wingback seats, which are a little bit more, tight than I would usually have in a car. I tend to have, really big cars, but they're still pretty comfortable for what they are. They look fantastic. I won't deny that my eye was caught by them as well, and these sell for like $2,000 just for the seats, which I won't be selling. I also believe that this car could potentially even be an investment over time. If I decide to keep it for long enough. The Ford Focus RS and the Clio V6 have already rocketed up in price. I think that's going to happen to the Golf R32. Maybe not like next week, but sometime in the next 10 years, I could easily see these going way up. Currently, in the UK, you can get like a lower mileage one for maybe 15, 16k. So basically Jag XK money already. Ultimately, I think they are going to go up. This one is in gorgeous condition. It's a lovely spec. And to go back to the point that I was saying, the one thing that I want to do to it, as you'd probably expect, is the exhaust. Initially, my plan was to do a full catback straight pipe. So delete the resonator under me, delete the muffler box at the back. But now what I'm going to do, I think, because I don't necessarily want it to be, I'm not going for like a VTEC kind of sound. I don't want the high-pitched kind of, I don't want that kind of noise, even though these do sound like that when you push them really hard. I want more volume, more than anything else. So the same sound, but louder. So more of that bellow at lower speeds. And this sounds fantastic. I mean, of course, I'll have included in the video some sounds, but yeah, ultimately, I'm loving it so far. Of course, it's a totally different kind of experience. Still super practical. Doesn't have as much space as most of my other cars. It's definitely more practical than the Jag. I'll give it that, but that's not saying much. But yeah, ultimately, it's a new chapter. It's my second Volkswagen now. 2 Volkswagens, 2 Maseratis, a Jag and a Bentley is my entire driving career so far. And I only started driving in 2019, so I've had quite a few cars in that time. But yeah, I don't regret buying any of them technically. This is a new chapter though. I will be doing a vid when I delete the muffler, and it's a very simple job on a Golf. It's literally like the last 2 feet or so of the system. Just take it out, put it straight in the new one. And it will make a big difference to the noise. And that was my favorite thing I ever did to the Jag. So yeah, ultimately, as I said, don't be expecting a review for this one because I already reviewed a different one last year, you know, essentially the same thing. But yeah, that's my new car announcement vid. Hopefully I won't be making another one quite so soon, but we'll see. I could definitely see me keeping this one for longer. And this, to be honest, is the first car I've ever had out of all 6 which I wouldn't want to trade in or sell. I would love to be able to be in the position where I could get something new and then like put this into storage and just keep it as an investment. But we'll see, you know, you never know. This is definitely the kind of car that, much like a Jag XKR or my first car, the Touareg V10, this could definitely be like a lifetime car. You know, it's the kind of car that people absolutely adore. I totally understand why. It's addictive. And they literally don't make them like this anymore. It's a 3.2 litre, 250 horsepower, all-wheel drive muscle car of a hot hatch. It's the powerhouse of its time. I believe it was pretty much the fastest hot hatch of like the big 5. The Civic, the Golf, the Focus, the Astra, and the Megane. I guess you could say like Seat Leon in there as well, but the Golf was always like the powerhouse of those. The others went in more for like the front-wheel drive handling kind of thing, like the Megane and the Civic. But this one and the Ford, especially the later Ford RS, the lime green Legend, those were really the powerhouse models. But yeah, overall, I'm loving it so far. Hopefully some more content to come for it, and thanks for stopping by. So feel free to roast me over the Bentley choice down below. Doubtless you already have. And I'm probably one of the only people ever to trade in a Bentley for a Golf. So at least there's that. What can I say? My taste in cars is eclectic, and I even considered getting a Panda 100 HP, but ultimately that would have been a little bit too small, I think. It's not so small that it's uncomfortable, but the Golf it's a good size. As far as hot hatches go, there's more than enough space in him. And the headroom is great. You know, there's a full fist of headroom above my head, which for me, 6'3", is saying a lot in a hatchback. Ultimately, that's it for the announcement vid. I mean, I've said I've said the end of the video like 5 times now, but I'll see you next time with more content, of course. And for now, as always, thanks for watching.